everyone, hope you all are well. Today I'm starting out as always by priming the eye area, and to do that I'm using my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I've added a few swipes of this across the eye area, and now I'm using a Sigma 3D HD precision brush just to blend this product into the skin. And adding a primer will just ensure that your shadows go onto the lids nice and smoothly. They blend nice and easily, and they last all day long as well. So I'm using another eyeshadow palette today from Urban Decay. It's another one of the Naked Mini eyeshadow palettes, and this is called Foxy. Included are 6 neutral / olive tone shades in a range of textures and finishes. And the first shade I'm actually taking is called Foxy. It's a light kind of off-white shadow with a matte finish to it. And I love the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, as you know, but some people do say they find it a bit too tacky and their shadows just don't perform well over the top of it. So if you're having that issue, try going in with a skin tone shadow first and applying it anywhere that you applied the primer just to set it in place. So then your shadows are going over a smooth powdery base instead and should apply a bit easier. So the next shade I'm taking is called Sly. This is just my perfect transition shade. Not even actually that, it's actually just a great shade to have in any palette. It's a lovely warm light toned brown shadow and it's got a matte finish. You can wear this like we are today in the crease. It's going to act as a transition shade. So you've got the brightness under the arch of the brow, this brown then in the crease, and then we'll be adding depth later with a darker shade. So you've got a nice gradient from dark to light the closer to the brow bone that you get. It's just not one stark dark shade. Now alternatively you can apply it into the crease with no other colours, and this will give a nice bit of depth and warmth. Add a lick of mascara and then you're good to go. But today I've just added a couple of layers of this shadow. I've just built up the colour to the intensity that I desire using circular motions and windshield wiper motions with my crown brush, crease brush to apply this shade. And when I'm on that outer corner, I'm winging the shadow outwards just to give me a nice elongated feel to the eyes. Once I'm happy then with how that looks, I'm using a Vanity Planet bullet shaped brush. I'm starting on the outer edge of the eye and using that Sly shade once again, using back and forward sweeping motions to apply this from outer to inner corner, making sure to connect it up on that outer edge so that we have no gaps. Next then, I'm taking the Shimmery shade Hot Stuff. It's a vibrant golden shade. It's really beautiful. And I'm using a Sigma E30 pencil brush just to apply this to the inner third of my eye. I'm sweeping and patting this down. And I've used it dry and I was quite happy with its performance and the fallout was minimal. So I'm moving then on to the shade Disco. This is a more, I suppose, chunkier, sparkly shade. It's an almost olive toned brown, and because it does have a thicker texture to it, I did have a bit of fallout, but nothing I couldn't easily clean up. So I'm just using that same pencil brush, the Sigma E30, and I'm sweeping this down on the centre of the lid and lightly overlapping it with that golden shade just to fade the two together. So now I'm taking this nice pearlescent deep green called Get Down, and I'm using a blank canvas E24 flat shader brush, and I'm patting this down on the outer third of the eyelid, just filling in that remaining blank space. And once I've tapped it down, then I'm flipping my brush around to the clean side and I'm just wriggling between where Get Down and Disco meet to blend the two shades together. So now I'm picking up the shade Funky Town, which is a warm dark brown. It's got a matte finish to it. And I'm using this Royal & Langnickel tapered blending brush to apply this shade. And you'll notice I'm using a smaller blending brush to apply this shade. And it's because it's a darker shade and I'm using it to add depth. So I want to be more precise with my application. So using a smaller brush just helps majorly in this way. I just have much more control with this kind of a brush as opposed to a large fluffy crease brush like the not blank canvas, like the crown brush one that I used earlier on. Once I'm happy then with how that looks, I like to go in with that brush that I used originally to apply Sly and use whatever product is left on the brush just to go around the edges of the look to make sure that it can still be seen in the final look. I want it to appear like a halo over the other shades, and then as well just to help fuse this colour together with the Funky Town shade a little bit better too. So now I'm working down along the lower lash line. I'm taking that Funky Town shade and I'm sweeping this down along there too, just from outer to kind of halfway across the eyelid, and then I'm just blending back and forward. To line my waterline then, I'm using the NARS Longwear eye pencil in the shade Mulholland Drive. It's a brown, but it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it as well, which I really like. So I'm just closing my eye around the pencil or running it back and forward to coat the top and bottom waterline. Then I'm using an angled brush from Vanity Planet. Once again, I've picked up some of the Funky Town shade, and I'm actually pressing this over the top of the pencil that I applied in the waterline. It'll not only set it in place, but it'll also just appear a little bit deeper, which is what I really want. Then I'm going to line the upper lash line too, so I'm just pressing that same brown shade into the lashes slightly above the lash line too, making my way from outer to inner corner, and this will just provide a nice base for the lashes that I'm going to apply. It'll just help to hide the lash band, and the lashes that I'm using are Pompadour. They're one of the Kiss blowout lashes, which I really like. They're nice and natural. And then I'm using a Wet n Wild bullet shape brush just to apply that Foxy shade around the tear duct, just to help brighten up the inside of the eye. And then I'm using the Urban Decay Wild Greens mascara just to blend my own lashes in with the false ones and to also coat the bottom lashes. But then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found it helpful, and I'll catch you all really soon.